Chad Moyer with you here on the Rural Radio Network. It is time for another Fridays in the Field segment, again from Northeast Nebraska. This week, we're visiting with Aaron Zimmerman from the Pierce area. Aaron, thanks for joining us again here this week. Of course, we're going to hit on your organic operation here and how things have been going. So from 6 weeks ago till now, what are some of the things that you've accomplished so far?
Well, it's been pretty busy, Chad. Last time we were here, this was a big old field of hairy vetch, and right after we met, we chopped it out, tilled it under, and planted corn right away. And since then, it's been rotary hoeing and cultivating.
So the last 6 weeks, it sounds like weed control has been the primary job of the operation, huh?
Absolutely. It's always a race when it comes to weed control. So the second you turn that dirt, it's the clock's ticking, and you got to keep your rotary hose running to, kind of every 3 to 5 days. You want to keep stirring it a little bit to break up and kick up any little white root hairs that might start the weeds coming.
Okay, so is the weed control strategy different in organic corn versus organic soybeans?
Not really. It's just a race to canopy, because there's only so many ways you can control weeds. It's shade is one, and so you're trying to get to canopy. Shade and iron are kind of your main tools with organics.
So in a typical year, how many rotary hoe sessions does it take to get it from when the crop comes up until canopy?
Usually 2 to 3, as long as you don't plant too early, because it works really good to wait, get the soil nice and warm, and get the length of the day longer. And so once you plant that corn in the ground, it's up and off to the races. Because otherwise, it's so tempting to start planting early, like so many people do. But with those cool soil temps, that corn is slow, but the weeds aren't. And so you'll be rotary hoeing that many more times.
And so how many cultivations will it take to get to canopy then?
Generally 2, sometimes 3 if you've got some grass and weed pressure that you're just not getting handled correctly, or maybe you didn't get it timed right in the first place.
So here in the month of June, is there anything that you can do to supplement on the nutrient side? Are you working nutrient management too?
Yeah, so what we do is we put a big majority of our fertility up front with raw chicken litter, but then after the corn's planted and we're in the cultivation phase, we'll put pelletized litter out. Not a very big rate, but it's enough to just divide it up a little bit, I guess. But the other thing is, at that point, we should be able to see some streaks, maybe some spreader error from that initial pass, and we can bump up the rate in those areas and try to level everything out and get back to where we were originally intending.
Sure. Compare the pelletized chicken manure, compare that to a commercial fertilizer. So what's its analysis? What are you putting on?
So, urea is a 4600 product, so it's pretty dang hot. Your pelletized chicken litter is going to be a 432 analysis, so there isn't a ton of nitrogen in it, but compared to, other manure products such as, feedlot manure or whatever, it is quite hot.
Just before we got here, as a matter of fact, we're taping this on Thursday, but overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday, some pretty significant rain kind of finally moved through the area, huh?
Yeah, so we've been, aside from rotary hoeing and cultivating, we've been running around with our hair on fire trying to keep pivots running, because it was starting to look like 2012 all over again. But last night we were blessed with a nice, it was a heavy rain. We probably 2 inches out of the deal. Nothing really severe, so everything's looking good.
Okay, so no overturned pivots or anything like that, just 2 inches of rain in a short time.
Yeah,
huh?
Not that I found yet. A little bit of stripped up corn over west, but it's nothing that's going to hurt us too bad. We were planning on being in the field cultivating today, but obviously that's going to have to wait.
Mm-hmm. So good timing. How long do you have to kind of let it dry out before you head in with the cultivator again?
Well, that's the nice thing about this sand. You can give her about 15 minutes and you can go. But no, it's these particular quarters we got to work on have some lower stuff that'll stay wet a little longer. So it'll be a couple days at least before we can get in there.
Okay. So bring us through the next few weeks. Between now and a month from now, when we'll visit with you again. What's kind of the priorities for you?
So for our farm, the next few weeks is just going to be water management. So the irrigation. So if it dries up again on us, we'll be right back at chasing pivots again. In July coming up, we'll be harvesting our field peas, and other than that, it's just irrigating.
Okay. What if being on the lookout for insects or diseases? How would you handle that in your organic system?
So there are a few options in organics when you have something like that. first and foremost, your best strategy against diseases and insects is rotation, and that's huge. Secondly, there are, if you have mold and some other diseases, there are some products out there that are organic certified that you can use. Insects as well, there are some organic insecticides that are derived from plants that naturally excrete it. It's expensive, and sadly, it doesn't quite work as good as the commercial synthetic kind, but it at least gives you some options. But first and foremost, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in this sort of thing.
So. Sure. Very good. Aaron, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for the update, okay?
You bet. Thanks, Chad.
Again, we've been visiting with Aaron Zimmerman from the Pierce area, Northeast Nebraska update on our Fridays in the Field segment here on the Rural Radio Network. It's brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.